First of all, welcome Tess and Yagmur. Thank you so much for being here today. And yeah, just to start off, Higher Words is all about sharing stories and empowering organizations that have been empowering the community and giving back to community. So can you tell us a little bit about your story and the inspiration for the work of Dance for All Bodies?
Of course. This is actually one of my favorite questions, and I'm happy to share it with you. So the inspiration behind Dance for All Bodies came from a one-time dance class I organized at the amputee support group in Zuckerberg, San Francisco General Hospital. So I was a volunteer there in the Orthopedic Trauma Institute, a specific program called Functional Limb Service that is a multidisciplinary clinical service for amputees or people who are about to get an amputation. And so we organized these monthly support groups, and as one of my responsibilities as a volunteer clinic coordinator was to organize those support groups and find speakers for them. So working there, I noticed after talking with amputees and the staff there that they wanted some sort of physical activity, a creative activity like dance. So as a dancer myself, I thought that would be an amazing idea. I organized a dance class with the help of a dancer from Access Dance Company in Oakland, which is a physically integrated dance company. And after that class, I just didn't want to forget that experience because it was just so beautiful. I've never danced with people who were amputees, who were using prosthetics or a wheelchair before, and that was just a very special experience for me, where I once again saw the value and beauty of creating an inclusive space. So then I started thinking about how we can grow this, how we can make this expand. And I knew that I wouldn't be able to do it alone because it's just a lot of work. And so I reached out to Tess, brought her in. Tess is also an amazing dancer and has a beautiful big heart and an amazing mind. So I was like, there's no one else that I can imagine doing this project with but Tess. And it's been a great journey together. We've learned, we've failed, we've accomplished things, but yeah, that's my part of the story. If there's anything else, Tess, that you would like to add to that?
Yeah, I'll just add that so after the sort of initial classes that Yagmur and I organized at San Francisco General Hospital, we applied to a competition at UC Berkeley called the Big Ideas Competition. And it's a really cool competition. A lot of people don't know about it, but it's really cool. It's for early stage sort of innovative ideas, and they have a lot of different categories. And so we apply to the arts and social change category. And through a lot of work, we wrote an 8-page proposal, made plans for funding and outreach and different sort of curricula. We went through 2 stages, and we ended up getting second place in our category. And that gave us the initial seed funding to sort of make this idea into a reality, which we started doing with that funding in 2019. So we're still very new. This is a very new journey, though we have grown quite a bit since 2018.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's honestly really inspiring to hear college students, applying for seed grants and making their passion for dance and the performing arts kind of help other people and make it more of an inclusive setting. So thank you for sharing that. And then, as the co-founders of DfAB, how has your experience been shaped by the current, health climate with COVID-19? And also, in particular, how is DfAB still working to foster that sense of community that is so important for, any nonprofit?
Yeah, I'll start by saying at first it was very daunting because dance is very social and it's very communal. you dance with other people, you touch them, like it's, you know, it's very very like physical like that. And so when we couldn't host classes anymore, we had to, you know, kind of scramble to think about how can we possibly do an online class. Like, this will never work, but we gave it a shot, and it's actually been a real benefit for our nonprofit, because we've been able to do more classes more often, and we can do them for less expense because you don't have to negotiate space with other vendors. And we've been able to invite more people to take our classes. We've been able to reach more people because we can, you know, do a Zoom class. You can be from any location. We've had people from Chile come. We've had people from the UK, people in the Midwest, the middle states of America. So we've really kind of started to grow a little bit from our Bay Area bubble. And that would not have been possible if we hadn't been forced to try an online class. I will say that Zoom is not the best platform for dance. I have some complaints. I would like it to be better. But it's what we have, and we're rolling with it. Anything else, Yagmur?
Yeah, I think you touched upon the most important main points, but in terms of fostering community during these times, I think that's something that we're currently working on. We are noticing that people are coming back to our dance classes and people are recognizing each other's faces, but there isn't really a space to talk and have conversation during the dance classes. So what we want to do is create a social media platform, like a Facebook group maybe, where people can, you know, brainstorm, get to meet each other, share resources with one another, and have conversations on that platform in addition to the dance classes. That definitely, we didn't think that a virtual dance class would be able to help build community, but surprisingly it has been able to. So yeah.
That's awesome to hear, because as you guys were speaking, I was thinking about how sorry. I was thinking about how, like, it's so unique how the internet and social media has made it so that COVID-19 isn't as bad as it would be before. And art is like provides such a huge space for expression. And just like going off of that, I know that doing research on Dance for All Bodies, reading your mission statement, we like looked at how you strive to uplift people with disabilities by allowing them a space to express themselves. What does it mean for both of you to help an often neglected population in society? And what kind of message do you want to send to the community about strength and resilience for people with disabilities?
So I will start this time. I think as two non-disabled individuals, two non-disabled dancers who are leading this project, we never really want to see ourselves as helping individuals with disabilities, but rather serving them and creating a space for them where they're prioritized, where they're represented, where they're at the center. And it's about creating that inclusive space that can be a model for the world that we believe in, that the world that we want to create. So we say that we want to create a more inclusive world, every dance, or like a dance class at a time. And we really believe that we will never be truly able to grasp what it means to live with a disability, but we can do our part by helping create that inclusive space and that diverse and accessible space. And helping neglected communities, I think, is just hard work that requires dedication and commitment and an open mind and an open heart. I think we have to listen, we have to make time to listen, and we have to step back to make sure that our actions match our values. And be open to constantly learning and constantly growing. Tess and I have learned so much on this journey, and recognized how much we have to learn. And I love learning, and we love learning, so that works for us. And we want to keep learning, what has been done, so that we can recognize what needs to be done. And we really, really work hard to make sure we listen to the community that we serve, that we in our team, we represent the community that we serve. So that's one of our goals this year as well. I think Tess has a couple of things to add to that.
Yeah, I'll just add that I think, so the question about, what message do we want to send about the resilience and strength of people with disabilities? And I think it's actually more about recognizing that people are strong and resilient, and this group of people that our world is not built to accommodate, to understand their experiences very well. Like, at the end of the day, they are people too, and their strength and resilience is not dependent on them being disabled in some way. That's just a part of who they are. That's a part of their body, and to be a human, you kind of just need a body, I think. And that's what they have, and they're people at the end of the day, and they are strong and resilient because they got to survive. And so we're here to hopefully create a space that makes it a little bit easier to do that.
Yeah, it's amazing to hear that, and I think you hit it on the nose, Tess, especially about making sure that you consider that they're people first, and not looking at them and saying, oh, you're disabled, and that places you into this category, and because of that we know you have limitations. They're people with feelings and a heart, and dance is one of the ways that they can express their feelings and express what's inside of them. And what you were saying, Yagmur, about listening to the communities, I think that's like also what we're all about here at Higher Words, is trying to listen to nonprofits who are trying to uplift communities, such as DfAB. So yeah, it's really inspiring to hear that. And earlier you touched upon the seed money you initially received from Berkeley to kind of kickstart this operation, but you also mentioned you're trying to now expand and grow your operations beyond like the Bay Area. So could you talk about potentially any funding challenges you've already faced with trying to grow and expand, as well as the financial implications of trying to grow your impact?
Yeah, I'll start. It's definitely, the funding and financing this is a constant pressure. It's not something that I think they teach idealists very well. Is like how to think about money and what you need and what is like feasible. So our dance classes are donation based. There's no floor or ceiling, and we don't turn anybody away for lack of funds. And we started doing it that way because we really do want our classes to sort of embody accessibility outside of even just like the class curriculum. Like, we don't want to have a barrier too high for money. However, in order to make that space, we do need funding. And so we are always thinking about how can we create revenue. That's something we are starting to think about, and it's something that I did not expect to be thinking about at age 23. Like, how can I create revenue for a nonprofit? That doesn't make any sense, but actually it's very much something that needs to happen. Thinking about different ways to apply to grants. How can we get funding in that way? So there's a lot that goes in, and it's definitely a challenge that is something we're constantly thinking about, because as great as it is to make our service accessible and to have it be broadly available to people, it's unsustainable without some kind of financial plan. And so we're really thinking about that right now. I think Yagmur has more things.
Yeah, I just wanted to add something in regards to grants. you know, a lot of people who we share our ideas with, who we share our projects with, say, you know, that's an amazing idea, like, great, like, thank you for doing that, and you should look into grants. And so we do look into grants, but the problem with grants is that we're usually not eligible for them for a variety of different reasons. It can be about how long we've been running. Usually a lot of the grants ask for at least 3 years of operational experiences doing this, or programming experience doing this work. They also require that you are at a specific location serving a specific group of people. So we don't really match that description because we're serving a variety of different kind of people. 70% of the people who come to our classes identify as having a disability, and you know, a variety of different kind of disabilities. But there is limited amount of funding for this kind of work that's being done out there. And so it's really difficult to find grants that really match what we are doing. But we're still hopeful because thankfully there are still grants for artists and dancers who are you know, involved in our organization. So individual artists or dance teachers can potentially apply for a grant to be able to sponsor their work with Dance for All Bodies. So that's one avenue that we're looking at in terms of funding. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. I know that finance and just funding is such a hard but also like taboo topic to be talking about, like when we talk about just like businesses. And I personally just think it's so important because this is like it sucks, but like money is important in like running a business, especially one that is like looking to empower a community that like has unfortunately, you know, like been kind of neglected in the world. And I think like expanding it a little bit, like higher awards, like what like Mihir and I and like Jacob and Jared, who's like our CEO, what all of us like here are trying to do is like empower like not nonprofits, but like nonprofits and like organizations that like serve other people and like empower other people. We're just trying to like fill that financial gap that is currently in the market. So I think it's so important that like all of us understand that like, yes, this is like such a beautiful like organization that you guys have like put forward in this world, but there are like difficulties in like funding it, and like all of us like need to like put our hands together and just make sure we can like, you know, like keep it going. And yeah, just like going off of that, like as I was saying, Higher Awards is all about like empowering communities and empowering organizations that give back to communities. And a part of that is like the stories that come with. Can you share like a particularly like meaningful story or like moment when you were able to see the impact that your organization had on people who were like attending classes or like just like taking part? Was there like anything like that stood out to you that like you just like you can't get out of your mind every time you think about your organization?
I think one of the things that, or one of the experiences, moments that I'll never forget are those where, one, I see people coming back to our classes. You know, that is the best response that we can ever get, because that shows that they enjoyed their experience and they're here because they want more, and they feel like, you know, they believe in what we're doing, and they believe in this world, and they believe in this shared vision. So that is very valuable. And also just hearing people say, you know, this has meant the world to me, or this has meant the world to my son. You know, it's just creating this inclusive space where everyone is heard and everyone is valued. Just seeing that in different ways, I think it's just very valuable, and that's what really keeps us going. There isn't really one specific story, but I think those two things really keep me going. keeps me going.
I'll share kind of a funny story. So we do a class every Sunday. It's our most popular class called Salsa Sunday. It's really high energy, really fun. A lot of people really enjoy it. It's our most attended class. And I think maybe in May, we thought, okay, let's just, there's 4 Sundays in May. We thought, okay, we'll take one Sunday off because of work-life balance. And the Sunday that we didn't have Salsa Sunday, we had lots of comments saying, "Where is salsa? Where is it? Come back. This is the worst Sunday. Where is salsa?" And so when that happened, it made me feel, I mean, it's like, oh, I can give you something that you want. And like, I want to give this to you. Like, it's exciting to feel like there's something that I can do that is going to, make people's day better. And yeah, I think that is a very rewarding feeling to feel like, okay, even on a Sunday, these people, they want to dance with us. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I mean, thank you so much for this entire conversation. I think both Sri and I learned a lot about Dance for All Bodies, and I think that it was really inspiring personally for me to hear how fellow college students are really making an impact. And like you said, it's really rewarding for both of you to continue your work with Dance for All Bodies, because you see the impact that it has when people return to your classes, when they sign up with you, and when they appreciate your work too, because it definitely deserves a lot of appreciation. So once again, thank you so much for an enlightening conversation. And now we're going to open up the floor for a little short question and answer session. So if you want to ask some questions to Tess and Yagmur, just use the hand raising button on Zoom. Okay. Jacob, do you want to come online to ask a question?
I do, if I could figure this out. Okay. Hey guys, thank you so much. Incredible story, incredible organization. I was interested in what styles of dance you guys teach, and also, how can we get involved in supporting this beautiful mission of yours? Oh, you're on mute. Somebody's on mute.
We were meeting like, do you want to go first?
Oh.
So we started doing classes that were mostly like improvisation, so like modern based, and we did hip hop for a little bit. But now we've been able to expand. We have hip hop and salsa and diaspora dance, which is a really fun class where you do dances from across the Caribbean. We have flamenco, which is a really fun dance to do when you're seated. Something that I didn't know, but it's really cool. And let's see, we've done some like more movement and meditation based classes. I feel like I'm missing one. Oh, some hip hop, which I already said. And we have urban jazz, which is really fun. Jazz is really fun. A really cool teacher, his name is Antoine Hunter. He is a deaf dancer, and he has his own dance company, and he teaches a really fun class. It's really awesome.
In terms of getting involved or supporting the mission, you can come to a dance class. You can bring your family to a dance class. Our classes, are all ages inclusive. All ages are welcome. We encourage you to come with generations to the dance class. And the other way is to just donate. We just have that donate button on our website everywhere, so it's impossible to miss. But yeah, those are the 2 main ways, other than just doing advocacy work actively in your community for disability rights.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. Are there any other questions? Alrighty, so since there are no more, we'll wrap it up here. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and obviously huge thank you to Tess and Yagmur for taking the time with us today to chat about Dance for All Bodies. We really encourage everyone here to continue supporting their local communities and empowering those who have already been, dedicating themselves to others. And obviously we saw, case in point today that Dance for All Bodies is such a rewarding nonprofit, and Higher Awards, we strive to continue that process of rewarding the nonprofits who are already rewarding the local communities across the world. So it's a bit of a complex process, but it's a lot of fun and it's rewarding. So thank you so much. If you wish to learn more about Dance for All Bodies in particular, please visit www.danceforallbodies.org or follow them at Dance for All Bodies across social media. Finally, if you wish to learn more about us and Higher Awards here, visit www.higherawards.com. We are sending each and every one of you love, health, and happiness during these challenging times, and we hope you have a great 4th of July weekend. Thank you.